Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Let's Talk Movies. My name is Brad.
My name's Miguel.
And tonight on the show, we are breaking down the long awaited Halloween Kills trailer and talking the crazy chain of events that led to its ultimate early release. So buckle up because this is going to be a fun one, probably one of our craziest episodes ever. This is episode number 27 of Let's Talk Movies. We hope that you all are doing well tonight. We did a little bit of a flip-flop from our usual schedule here. So what's happening is Let's Talk Movie News is premiering on Monday the 28th at 8 p.m. And we decided to bump up this episode to this weekend because of everything that's happened the last couple of days as a result of the Halloween Kills trailer release. And so, yeah, that's what's happening. We just flip-flopped the episodes. So, Miguel, how the hell are you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing solid, man. I had a burger, and it was fucking...
That's awesome.
Yeah. What about you?
We had a late one last night. I got us total of about 3 hours of sleep because that trailer dropped.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I literally slept for about I maybe got 4 hours of sleep last night.
Yeah, guys, literally, like, I got a text from Brad, and he was like, the trailer dropped. But, like, I fell asleep, and next thing you know, I got, like, several different texts from him. He was like, are you alive?
No, so here's what happened. So, I'll go into detail on all of this in a minute. But I was sitting there, and Julie and I were sitting there watching TV, and I had been keeping up with everything all day.
Yeah.
My phone had been blowing the hell up all day because of this thing, with the leaks and the video leak and the whatever else. And when it was like 9:06, and I saw Dave McRae tweeted first. So I saw his tweet first, and he was like 30 minutes, and I was like, he's screwing with everybody. Like people are freaking out right now. Everybody's losing their damn minds over this. They're not gonna drop the trailer on 30. Like, there's no way a whole week early. And then I started seeing other people, and I was like, I'm texting people and like getting in groups and everything, and on our Twitter, and then I saw Jason Blum's tweet, and he said, somebody replied and was like, so when is this happening, since it's all leaked online? And he was like, if I was a bet man, I'd say in about 30 minutes or so. And that was at like 9:06. So I was like, holy shit. So I literally called.
Are you serious?
You probably had about 9 missed calls from me, and I texted you like 16 times because I was like, change of plans, we're changing everything. And I was like writing it down. I was like, this is what we're doing. Movie news is coming out Monday. The episode's coming out Saturday. We're going to do the trailer reaction tonight. I'm going to stay up and get it out. So our trailer reaction for the Halloween Kills trailer is out on our YouTube channel right now. And we had a couple of weird technical things too. It's what happens when it's thrown at you, man. You don't have time to prepare. But it was cool, man. And we love the trailer. And obviously that's what we wanted to do episode 27 about. So I will say, I will take it as a personal victory that I've inducted you and my wife into the Halloween community. It's a personal victory of mine.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it's a personal victory for you.
It is. Yeah. As I pour my beer.
Rightfully so, because I mean, I'm sure you guys, have heard from past, from our previous video episodes that, we watched Rob Zombie's one, and I'm not gonna lie, wasn't in my taste.
Well,
I'm sure it wasn't in anybody's taste at the time.
I wanted to start with that just because I probably shouldn't have started with that.
You wanted to set the bar low, okay? Because
kind of. I've been a Halloween fan all my life. Look at that shit.
I have not.
My dad got me started on Halloween when I was in like middle school. And I've loved it ever since. Julia first saw Halloween 2018 at the drive-in. Her and I went to the drive-in last October, and she was like, I don't know. And literally 30 minutes into the movie, she was like, she loved it. And then, of course, you watching this trailer tonight, it was cool because Miguel texted me today, and he was like, I want to buy the poster.
Yeah.
It's like, it's too dope looking. So
yeah. Okay, well, I mean, when we talk about it, you understand why I'm kind of hyped about it, honestly.
Oh yeah.
It's just everything about
For
it
sure.
just seems so chaotic.
I know. So here's to you
Cheers.
and wanting to get into this Halloween fandom. So, um, okay, so where do we even begin? Um, so
Uh,
leading up to Thursday night, so
mhm,
Thursday morning, I had a completely different show plan. We were going to do Let's Talk. We were going to record our Let's Talk movie show that was going to drop on Friday. We were going to talk James Gunn and Marvel versus DC and all just
mhm.
a whole bunch of different other stories, Spider-Man No Way Home news. Um, and then this happened. So Thursday morning, I wake up. I had like 25 notifications on my phone, and I saw it was Halloween Kills related. So I was like, okay. So I started looking. I saw the leaked pictures. It was like 4 pictures at that time, and I was like, all right, cool. I think I sent them to you, didn't I?
You
I
did.
think I did. I'm not gonna lie. Thursday is kind of a blur because everything was like really weird. Plus, we were already preoccupied because for those of you that don't know, my wife just had surgery 3 weeks ago. So she's recovering. We had to go up to Cincinnati to get her to go to her like weekly appointment and stuff. So I was literally listening to Dave McRae's show in the car, trying to like figure out what was going on because I wasn't on like our Twitter. I wasn't in the groups right then. So, and he had said there is a chance that this might drop early because so much of it is leaking already. And I was shocked. Universal did zero damage control with this thing.
None.
Usually, I mean, like if you look back to even the Marvel stuff, when stuff leaks, it's gone. Disney is on that shit. Like, I mean, they are like it's removed in 2 seconds. Um, but by the time we had gotten home, probably 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, more pictures and video had leaked. I scrolled past the trailer twice and like had to ignore it like in Halloween groups and a couple of the groups I'm in on Facebook and on Twitter. And then of course, like I said, 9:05, 9:06 is when I saw the tweets and that's when I was in like a frenzy to try to figure out like what was going on. So
Mhm.
but yeah, and one of the segments that we were going to talk about in that episode of Let's Talk Movie News is what could we possibly see in the Halloween Kills trailer. That was going to be like the biggest segment that we were going to start off with on that show. And then of course
And it drops.
it dropped. So then it was like in a frenzy. So let's talk the trailer a little bit. Initial thoughts from somebody who is relatively new to the Halloween community and the Halloween franchise. Miguel, what did you think of the trailer? Just initial thoughts.
I think it's going like fucking full steam ahead, man. Like Jesus. Like it started out like I don't know. I like from what I got from like, Halloween in general, it's kind of like slow burn ish. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like a
Yeah.
slow burn, like you get some little bit of backstory, a little bit of like, prelog shit, and then the action starts happening. But
Absolutely.
this one just went right out the gate from the fire, from Laurie and all of them getting away. And yeah, I could just tell immediately from the first couple of seconds that this was gonna go hell on earth real
Yeah.
quick.
I've seen a lot of people that are complaining about how much it showed and that they've spoiled the whole movie and they showed every single kill. I was actually pleasantly surprised with what they showed in the trailer. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, I really was. I know that people are freaking out and they're complaining, but calm the hell down. There was actually a Fangoria article that I retweeted today. Talk about how people are freaking out, and it's like, guys, you watched a 2 minute and 37 second trailer. The movie is going to be 90 plus minutes long. I mean,
Yeah.
and from what I understand, um, even I think David Gordon Green even said something about this that no trailer is perfect, and a lot of the kills that you saw, like it's the tip of the iceberg, like it's kind of a tease
Well,
into it, like the firefighter thing. I think that
yeah.
firefighter thing is gonna be balls to the
Whack.
wall, brutal.
I think it's if you want to talk about that firefighter scene, like the fact that it showed it as like a like first person point of view, like you could see it from the mask. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
whenever like it showed Michael Myers like killing one of the firefighters, and it was the firefighter's view. That's scary actually to see
oh hell
like
yeah,
it's like because it's a different view. Like you don't really get
absolutely.
to see that happen all that much. So whenever I saw that, it kind of like gave it more of a horror aspect in my eyes, because it's like
Right.
you're actually going to see Michael Myers do what he's going to do to you. And I think people are saying like it's going to show all the trailer showed all the kills already. Dog, it's the entire town against Michael Myers. This man's going to stack bodies.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, because there's a YouTube channel, which by the way, I'll shout out to you later, but that does like kill counts.
Yeah.
Yo, I can't wait for that to come up because that's gonna be like a
Is
45
it
minute.
is it Dead Meat that does?
I think it's Deadbeat. If it is, shout out to y'all. But yeah, that horror kill count is gonna be pretty
It's
extensive.
going to
It's
be
gonna be a
unreal.
long one. Yeah.
Um, and the people complaining, random footage is not thrown in these trailers. Like it's a very meticulous and purposeful process. They put specific things in there for a reason. Um, look at what Disney did with the Endgame trailer. The big Endgame trailer, like the last trailer we got, which was like the longest one.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't show shit. But here's the thing. Halloween doesn't have the kind of following that the MCU does. And I
It
mean,
doesn't
don't get
have. Yeah, like honestly, this like again coming from someone that's not a Halloween fanatic as most of our listeners.
Halloween
Like
fanatic in
we
the making.
Yeah. So, but like, let's be honest, guys. Like, Halloween is not as culturally popular as
Right.
Marvel is. So
It doesn't
obviously,
appeal
like,
to everybody. It
yeah,
can't be.
exactly. So, like, for they could be more liberal with what they show because it's not like they're really hiding something. I'm sure you guys knew like there wasn't going to be like some big secret or big surprise that's going to come out with this Halloween kills. Like, it's gonna be what you expect,
Right.
except to another level as we've seen in the trailer.
For
So there
sure.
isn't much of a secretive kind of thing. Like they're not holding back anything. They want you to know, like, hey, it's gonna go full steam ahead. It's gonna get real. Oh shit! What the hell? It,
Weirdo.
it's gonna get real.
You drinking tonight?
No, it's gonna get real deadly, real quick, and it's gonna be all out war pretty much. And they want you guys to know that. And I think they did a good job with the trailer in that fact. So I mean, if you guys are upset that they're showing too much, I think they showed enough because it was enough for me to be excited about it. Honestly, as someone that's not a Halloween fan, like I was actually pretty excited just in general.
Thank you for saying that. Because again, that's why I kind of like having both of us when we talk about Halloween, because it's like you kind of get two different perspectives. And
Mm-hmm.
in saying that, in what we just said, don't get me wrong, Halloween Halloween has some of the most dedicated um it's one of the most, it's such a massive and dedicated fan base and fandom.
Mm-hmm.
And while we did break the internet last night because of the trailer, it's not Avengers level big. All of
Yeah.
us that are salivating over it, who become Tony Montana when he's high on cocaine, uh, at the first sign of anything Halloween related, normal people don't do that. And
Mm-hmm.
Universal has to sell this trailer to the everyday moviegoer. Your average everyday moviegoer is not going to be convinced to see Halloween Kills if the trailer is lame to them and they don't show anything.
Yeah.
When they see a title like Halloween Kills, it like you said, it's got to look like all out war. It's got to look brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they're not going to catch a lot of the same things that us Myers fans will necessarily. So for the average, I think for the trailer did exactly what it needed to do with bringing general audiences. The trailer is not for Halloween fans. The trailer is for the general audiences. And I think, honestly, I think it was a 10 times better trailer than the Halloween 2018 trailer was. And I
Well, like
remember
let's.
I flipped my shit when I saw the Halloween 2018 trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And this was 10 times better. I also really like the way that this felt like a seamless transition in between Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it just in the same way that there was a seamless transition between Halloween 1978 and its original sequel from 1981. And obviously that sequel is no longer considered to be canon, but I mean, you can watch the original film and Halloween 2 like back to back, and it feels like you're watching the same exact movie. I mean, it feels
Mm-hmm.
like you're literally watching like an expansion pack of the first one. And this feels like it's going to, like, I feel like obviously you had the original 1978 film, but I feel like Halloween 2018 was the bridge between 1978 and this moment. Um, so it felt like a really nice bridge between the two of them. But let's go ahead and get in the breakdown of the Halloween Kills teaser or trailer. Excuse me. So keep in mind, we have not read any of the leaked script. Um, any thoughts, opinions, ideas we have about the plot are purely speculative based on what we've seen. So I shouldn't even have to say this, but spoiler warning. If you're
Yeah.
one of those people, you do not want to see the Halloween Kills trailer, you want to know nothing about it. I don't know why you're watching the show right now, but click off. So there's your warning. So let's talk about the trailer a little bit. So the opening, I love the opening showing the burning house. It kind of, again, it's a semi recap of 2018. It's the burning house was one of the last things we saw in the 2018 film, and obviously, I think that the house burning will probably be how this film will start. Part of me thought since they're doing the flashback, maybe they'll maybe the movie will start with a flashback to explain some of the characters that they're bringing back, but I don't think that would make sense. I think maybe we get the firefighter scene and the scene of the house burning, and then we get snippets of flashback throughout the movie. That's kind of my thought process right now. Um, and then you mentioned this last night, the like immediate emotion. We've heard that this movie is like one of the most emotional Halloween movies of all time. Which it's funny because emotional really isn't something you think of when you think of a Halloween movie or a horror movie in general.
Yeah.
But I think you said it when it shows Laurie and Karen and Allyson on the back of the truck, and she sees the fire department and the police and the ambulance and everything heading in the opposite direction. That's instant emotion because when she's screaming "Let it burn," and they're like, well, "But it's okay," but it's a tense moment. It's a really really tense moment.
Yeah, because like I said, like I could like you could feel like the absolute frustration with all that because like, after everything they just went through with facing Michael Myers, and then whenever they were getting away, they thought that was it. That was
Yeah,
done. But then when seeing the fire department coming in, like it's like you can't really stop it. Like they're so frustrated because like they're going down there just to do their job. Like they don't know what the situation's
yeah.
happening
They
right
have
now.
no idea that
They
any
have
of
no
this has been
idea.
happening throughout the
Hmm.
night.
Yeah.
So
So like it's so emotional because like you want them to just Laurie wants them to like just let it go, but I
yeah,
mean they're going down there to do a job, so that's why they're frustrated. They're like praying that they get there like with not enough time to save the house and ends up burning down,
yeah,
which is weird because like they were under the impression that like throughout the trailer like they were under the impression for a little bit that Michael Myers is dead. It wasn't until later when what's his name? I
right.
think the sheriff comes by.
Sheriff Barker, yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
When he
and
comes
it's
by and says like, "Yo, he's still alive."
yeah. I from what we've heard too, all three movies, um, Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends are all going to take place on the same night, which it's kind of odd going back and rewatching Halloween 2018 because it's almost like, holy crap, this has been over the course of 7-8 hours. When in actuality, Halloween 2018, I mean, the actual Halloween night, Michael going on his beginning his rampage after he escapes, really, that's only a span of maybe an hour or two.
No way.
Yeah, maybe 3 hours. It's really not the events of that night. Obviously, Halloween 2018. There's a couple days prior when it starts, but um, those events probably take place within a pretty small window of time, and in this window, obviously when Michael shows up, there's the whole tracking shot scene where he's going on his like the first real rampage scene we get where he's just like killing people left and right. But I love that scene so much in the 18 film because he blends in. You know, he's going
Yeah,
in
he
and out of
did.
people's houses. You know, kids are throwing firecrackers. Everybody's out trick or treating, having a good time. I wish Halloween looked like that in real life. Nobody treats Halloween like that anymore. Um,
No.
but it's one of my favorite scenes in any movie of all time because he's just like going in and out of houses and he's killing people and the Halloween music is playing. It nobody knows what's going. It hasn't been enough time for anybody to realize that something is wrong. Um, Obviously, Laurie knows something is wrong, and the police know that something is wrong because they know that he's escaped by this point, but they're kind of trying to keep it on the wraps. And when Laurie starts showing up, they're kind of like, "What do you go home? Like, what are you doing here?" And of course,
Yeah.
Laurie's not going to go home. She's like, "Lock it down, kill." You know, she's ready to go. Um, but yeah, so the fire department probably has no idea that any of this has gone on over the last couple of hours. So I mean, Halloween Kills. You know, David Gordon Green said it's about the spreading of fear. Makes sense because this is when people are going to start to find out. This is when people
Yeah.
are going to, the whole mob mentality, people are going to rise up, take the law into their own hands once they realize this. And like you said, I'm confused. My thought is if Laurie and Allyson and Karen are on the truck going this way,
Mm-hmm.
and the fire department is coming this way, she's screaming no because she knows that if they go put the fire out, there's a chance it hasn't been long enough. He hasn't burned alive yet.
Mm-hmm.
So what my question is, what changes between then and the hospital? Because Laurie says in the trailer it's over. Like it's over, he can't hurt any, because Allyson says at one point, you know, my grandmother was right, the boogeyman was real, and Laurie says it's over, he can't hurt anyone ever again. So what happened between the let it burn moment and the hospital to make her calm down and be like, okay, I succeeded, I killed him, it's over? I don't know. That's kind of a strange, I'm not really
Yeah, because she
sure.
is because
I
like
don't
throughout
know.
the time she thought she was like throughout the ride to the hospital, like she's thinking like the fire department's gonna take care of it. But then later on she's like, okay, it's over.
Yeah.
It's like
Unless Karen
how
and
did you
Allyson convince her that there's no way he survived that. Like that's not possible.
yeah, yeah. I think probably because she's like, I mean she got stabbed, so she's in the hospital, probably under some anesthesia. Because you saw like I don't know what the fuck she hit herself with. Adrenaline, maybe?
I know. I thought that too. I was like, it's got to be adrenaline because she's.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she got thrown off of the balcony. Call back to the original movie.
Yeah.
In the 2018 film, he stabbed her in the stomach. I mean, they plus her and they duked it out like two or three times at the end of the 2018 film. So like, Laurie's probably in shock and in just like that state of adrenaline. She's not even really thinking clearly. That's why it's like she can finally rest when they get on the truck. It's over. She did it. And then when she sees the fire department, it's like, oh my God, please don't do this. We just figured it out and got him
Mm-hmm.
trapped. And now you're going to put the fire out. So I don't know what really changes between that moment in the hospital to make her think that it's all fine and dandy and he's gone. Um, but let's talk about the house burning because visually, the scenes inside of the house, well, and outside of the house, when it's burning, look stunning.
Yeah.
Like I honestly
Some pretty good
watching.
cinematography, honestly,
Oh, fantastic.
with that burning house scene.
Well, and honestly, I actually thought this watching the trailer. It might sound stupid, but I actually thought, God, that looks hot. Like what? Like when they were inside. Like I don't know the color grading and the way the fire looked and the way the
Mm-hmm.
smoke was starting to fill the room. You can almost feel the heat from that. Like it, and that might sound dumb to say, but it looked really really good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and from the minute the guy falls through the floor, like you can tell that the firefighters know how serious a situation this is, and they don't even have the slightest clue
Of
about
what's
Myers.
Yeah.
Like that is not even a thought on their mind because the moment that he walks out of the house holding the halogen and all of the firefighters are getting their equipment and they're getting their gear and they stop and look at him, it's like, what the hell? Like what? Whoa. And then of course we cut to he's got the halogen, he's lifting someone up with the halogen. And just the whole that firefighter scene is going to be brutal. I mean, I think we've seen the tip of the iceberg with
Yeah.
that scene.
I think it's fucking like insane with that because honestly, like if I was a firefighter and I saw a man in a mask just walking out of the fire whenever two of my boys went in
And
and he's
didn't
the only
come
one
back
that
out.
walks, yeah, and he's walking out with the halogen, I would think, boys, let's pull out the hose because firefighters like water hoses, they could
Oh
peel
yeah,
skin. They could
yeah.
peel skin. I'm just saying, man. All they had to do was flip that bitch on and send them back into that building. I'm
Well, I
just
mean,
saying.
I must say, obviously they unknowingly saved him.
Yeah,
And you
I
got to
think.
think they also have to work. I mean, Laurie's house is surrounded by trees. It's surrounded by woods. They
Mhm.
got to worry about controlling it so that the woods don't catch on fire. Their mind isn't even slight. Again, they have no idea that any of this has gone on
Yeah,
throughout the night so far. So when he walks out, it's kind of like, whoa. But I gotta say, props to the firefighters for trying to fight back.
yeah.
Like
Do you
the
see
guy with
that?
the
The,
buzzsaw that got it turned back on him, I was like, I mean, props
I
to you
was
for trying. Like,
at some point they realized like, okay, this is a psychopath. So when the chainsaw zipped up, I was like, oh hell, here we go. But then of course Michael Myers can take him. I guess
I
that
know
was unfortunate.
well, dude. I was talking to my dad about this today. I called him today and I was like, "Did you watch the Halloween Kills trailer?" He was like, "You fucking kidding me? Of course I watched the trailer." But I brought this up to my dad. The first scene, because obviously you see the doorway,
Hmm.
and when Michael just emerges from the smoke and he like swings the tool down into his other hand, it's like, whoa. And you got to keep in
Yeah,
mind, he's doing is it his right or his left? I don't remember. I want to say it's his left. Laurie blew off these two fingers. He's got three fingers on one hand.
yeah,
She blew off two of his fingers, and he is still lifting that homeboy up. So really, all the weight's on one. I mean, it's just like it for a 60-year-old man. Again, it's like what makes this so scary is like, how is an old man doing this? Like, this doesn't make. He survived that hot ass blaze. Second of all, how is this even possible? He's taken on all these firefighters and winning. I mean, every time we saw a firefighter in this trailer, they were getting their crap rocked from
yeah.
here to Alabama. I mean,
It
just
just
like
it reminded me of the
breaking the glass on their shields with like the butt of it, and I mean, it's just like whoo.
way I was gonna say the way Michael Myers walks out of that burning house. It was like I don't know. I don't know if you've seen the movie. I don't know the movie either. I just remember the scene where this guy walks into a superstore and he's like, "I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum." That's exactly what I was thinking. Like I was like, "Oh, that's such." I just need that one line right there just to have
Well, it's so dope because like obviously Michael is emotionless.
it. No,
That's what
Nick,
makes him so
no.
scary. But here's the
It's
thing:
set the tone right there. Like
when he walks out of the house, he's so calm and he's so like focused. But you get the sense that he's like, "No, you effing did not." Like he's
yeah,
just pissed. He walks out of the house. What the fuck? What did you do to me?
yeah.
Um,
He's there like, where are those bitches at right
I
now?
know.
Like ready to go. Like
Walked out swinging. Where'd she go?
yeah, I've never seen Michael Myers so um I'm like you could tell that you could tell he has like a really furious emotion right there. Like you can't tell us all the other ones. Like, the horror aspect of Michael Myers is like he's emotionless. You can't tell what he's
Right.
doing. It's just mindless. This one right here, you could sense the anger that he has within himself.
Yeah,
It is like that's what makes it more scary.
He's still emotionless. He's still blank. But it
His
feels like
mannerism.
It feels like I was going to bring this up later, but it's a good time to bring it up. I was always of the opinion that since they did away with the brother sister storyline in the sequel reboot, I feel like when he escaped, when Sartain did whatever he did to make Michael escape off of the bus when they were transporting him, I feel like he didn't escape knowing I'm going to go after Laurie.
Hmm.
I think he was just like, cool.
Yeah,
I mean, like he
I'm
was just
free.
doing his
Yeah.
thing. It was just it's a mindless killing machine like the Terminator almost. Um, but I think there is a scene in Halloween 2018, the first time Michael and Laurie really come like face to face. Is she's walking around the house and she's setting her traps to like clear the rooms and stuff. She's got her tactical shotgun, and he comes up and like pushes the shotgun, like she's pushed up against the wall, and they're both holding onto the shotgun. And he looks at her and he does his classic. He tilts his head, and that, like, in my mind, I don't know if Gordon Green and Danny McBride, if Danny McBride really planned on this, but I feel like that was the moment where it clicked in his mind, like, holy shit, I know you, like you, like, hey, like what, where you been,
Hey.
like you got away from me once, where you been, like I feel like
Yeah.
he recognized her in that moment. So at this point when he is walking out of that house, I think now he is going after Laurie. And I could be wrong, I don't know, but I think at
I
this
about said
point
it, like
he's
this.
pissed.
They literally threw him into a basement and set the place on fire. Of course, he wants to go after him.
Yeah,
But you notice that throughout the trailer, you see that he's just going on another killing spree. So it's not like he's like intentionally like that's his main mission. Like I think he's still just mindless killing spree right
it's
now.
like he's taking revenge out on the entire town, like on
Yeah, pretty
everybody. Like
much. Yeah.
everybody is, and of course he does. Again, we're talking about motive, but he doesn't have a motive. That's what makes him so scary. Jason
Hmm.
is killing for his mom. Freddy is killing because he's a child molester. He's nasty.
Yeah.
Michael,
Doesn't really have any
there
motive.
is no reason, and that's what makes it scary. That's the whole that's what I love about him. And of course we cut to Allyson when she says, my grandmother was right, the boogeyman was real. When obviously they have Laurie in the hospital, she's cleaned up. And then we see Sheriff Barker and the rest of the police force. Real quick shots here when they show up and they find all the dead firefighters. At this point the house is burned down, and they are like, oh,
They're like,
you can tell they're kind
okay,
of like, all right, like
something's
here,
wrong.
okay, here we go. He's not. She didn't get him.
Yeah.
Um, and again, we kind of talked about the seamless transition. The thing about Halloween Kills is they don't have to explain very much. Like, obviously, people complain that Halloween 2018 was slow, but here's the thing: you had the original film, and somehow they had to bridge the gap between 1978 and 2018. I mean, that's 40 years. You had to explain what happened to Laurie. You had to explain where Michael's been. You had to give a little bit of context before you just got into bloodbath action. So, but with Halloween Kills,
How
what?
did he get caught, by the way?
They said he got caught the same night. My guess is we're going to see him getting caught in a flashback.
Maybe.
We're
Yeah.
going to see what happens after Loomis shoots him off the roof, and that we will see, spoiler alert, rumor is that Loomis is in the trailer. I don't know if Loomis is in the movie in a flashback. I don't know if they'll CGI him. I don't know if they'll show him from behind and get a look-alike. I don't know how they're going to do it. But I think what I would love to see, because it's revealed that um, uh, Will Patton's character, who is the police chief, he's not the chief. Maybe he's the chief. I don't know.
The sheriff, I think. Yeah.
No, Barker is the sheriff. I'm not sure what Will Patton's character is, but it's revealed that like Will Patton said, you know, he was the first responding officer in 1978 to when Loomis sent the kids over to call the police and Loomis ran upstairs and shot Michael. Hawkins was the first cop on the scene,
Hmm.
and he said, or what I would like to see is Loomis finds Michael again after he looks down and he sees him not in the yard where he shot him. Maybe Michael kills a couple other people. He has a run in with some of the other characters we're going to see. Maybe Loomis goes to. I would love to see Loomis tackle Michael, put the revolver up to his head, and then Hawkins tackles Loomis off of Michael, saying, he's property of the state, you can't do that, you can't kill him or whatever. And then the cops show up, and I don't want to actually see the cops like handcuff him, shove him on the hood. I don't want to see that. But I would almost like to see Michael, even if Michael is just kind of like on his knees or laying down, and just like he looks at Loomis, and that's the flashback. Like, I would love to see something like that. So hopefully we will see we'll see how he got caught, but I don't know for sure. I'm not positive.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious as to see, because I would love to know how he got caught. But let's be honest, like, yeah, like why would he be? Why would he submit to the police department if he's this psychopath killer? So
He
I'm
sure
curious
ain't
to see how he got
submitting to anybody now.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all can kiss his ass if you think he's submitting to you.
Yeah, exactly. So like it's just odd to that was odd for me whenever I saw the 2018 because it was like, how did he get there if that's the
Yeah,
case?
right.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see that backstory. Obviously, it might be a flashback. I'm down to see that flashback.
I know. I'm very excited for the flashback. I'm also excited to see the original solid white mask before it, rots and gets all, because latex rots.
That would be dope.
I'm excited to see the mask. And obviously, I think they had to get a new actor because James Jude Courtney and Nick Castle are, they're old. Like they look, they look old. No offense to them, but they do. So they had to get a younger actor. But obviously, then we cut to Barker telling Karen, like, no one told you, and Karen's like, tell me what? She doesn't know that he escaped. Then we cut to the older couple.
The poor older couple.
I know, the poor older couple. I don't know who they are. When I first saw the original teaser, I thought, oh, that's Lonnie. But then I was like, I don't know, because Michael, he smashes through the glass and he grabs the guy by like the side of the head, and he's like bashing his head into the wall. And then when it cuts and he takes the light fixture and he like stabs that poor old lady in the throat, I was like, oh man.
Dog, that went through like butter. That really didn't take much force.
Oh. But then of course, like, it shows her dying on the floor, like propped up, and he's just like going to town, stabbing the other guy. I was like, ugh. Like, it's violent, man. It's nuts. I feel like Michael Keaton. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the first couple of kills are going to be really vicious because like
I think it's all going to be vicious.
Yeah, obviously, but like the first couple of kills that he's going to have are going to be pretty like vicious just because of the amount of anger he probably has within himself because of honestly someone getting the best of him, and actually getting the best of him. So it like because we've seen what 3 deaths in the trailer, if I'm not mistaken. Like as a whole, like you had the couple, then you had the people in the car, and then you had the people that were like stuck on the playground. Like that's the only one we've seen, like in regards to kills.
Yeah, I don't see. That's where I'm like the people who were like, oh, they spoiled every kill. I don't think so because I don't know.
He's gonna stack some bodies. Like there's no question about it. Like,
well, I think obviously there's a lot of kills we haven't seen, but even the ones that we did see, like the firefighter scene, we saw brief glimpses of him killing them. We didn't see the lead up into the scene. I also hope that there's a lot more stalking in this one because originally Michael, he's quiet. He stalks you. He doesn't just like, hey, I'm home. You know what I mean? He doesn't just bust through the door and start kicking ass. I
don't think there's gonna be much stalking in this movie, man. I'm sorry to say that. Like it's gonna be pure like furious rage while everyone else tries to hunt him down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he may be able to like, move quietly while they're hunting him and he picks off the group one by one. I think that's probably what's gonna happen. Like the collective citizens like go out on a hunting spree trying to find them, but then one by one he gets them every other time.
Yeah, I don't know. But then at this point, like you mentioned earlier, Laurie stabs herself with the syringe. I don't know why she stabbed herself like that. Just like
Because she needs to be
inject yourself.
badass.
Just, I mean, yeah, it's gotta
She's
look
she's
badass. It's Jamie Lee
she's like,
Curtis. She is
yeah,
badass.
she's like the Sigourney Weaver from like
I
Aliens.
know.
Like she's just like absolute badass right now.
I showed Julia the trailer this morning, and she was like, "Jamie Lee Curtis is baller." I
Hmm.
said, "Yeah, I know she is," but obviously she's very agitated. Like I feel like that scene is when she just realizes that holy crap, he's alive. Like I gotta go. I gotta get out of the hospital. And of course, Karen's like, Karen says like you were stabbed in the stomach. Like you can't go anywhere. And of course, then Jamie Lee Curtis, one of my favorite lines from the trailer, she says, "You and Allyson should not have to keep running. Evil dies tonight." And Evil dies tonight obviously has kind of been the one of the taglines that I've seen on like the official Halloween Twitter and their accounts and stuff. But I actually asked somebody in the Killer Flicks Facebook group. Shout out to Killer Flicks, all of you. I asked somebody in Killer Flicks what they were chanting when it finally shows the mob outside of the hospital and they're rocking the ambulance and they're shouting and chanting. Because I rewound that like 15 times today and I could not make out what they were saying. And somebody said they're chanting "Evil dies tonight," and I was like, holy shit, they are. They're screaming "Evil dies tonight." And I went back and I listened to it and I was like, yes, they are. So I think her saying that is going to be very important.
Hmm.
And then we got something really, really cool. The score. They've said they're stepping up the game with the movie. Well, how do you make something? How do you make the sound of something sound bigger? The instrumentation. I mean, I'm a music teacher. I am a music and sound guy, and I thought it was really cool hearing the bum 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 on a cello instead, because usually like what we've gotten so far is we've gotten like I mean the original was on a piano. Um and all of John Carpenter's scores are usually very synthy and like they're techie. Like that's just how they are, and it works. That his scores are incredible. But I've always wanted to hear the Halloween theme as in an orchestral setting, and I think that's going to be really cool. I think expanding the instrumentation and adding strings and adding brass and adding things like that is going to be awesome. And I like that we kept hearing the bum 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 in the cello because I was like, "Yep, this is going to be cool." It sounds bigger. Um,
Yeah.
and then we cut to you had mentioned earlier the people on the playground. I don't even know what the hell is that thing called. The twisty thing that kids like hop on and they spin until they're dizzy and like get ready to throw up.
I don't know.
I don't know what it's called, but
We didn't have that in Kentucky.
I know I don't think I've ever remember going to a playground where one of those was there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh, but then we get to the playground scene, which I believe Sean, shout out to Sean at Phantom Empire, said this at one point. Um, there is apparently something like make you sick to your stomach brutal with the playground. Like a scene at the playground that is like kind of makes you like pale a little bit.
Like
So
Burn.
I'm sure that's
Ooh.
something that we haven't seen. I know that could be a lot of that could be a lot of bad things. But we see
Hmm.
three people dead. Two of them look like possibly Julian's parents, which of course in the scene there was the couple leaving. One was in a nurse outfit. One was in like a he was in scrubs, I believe. I think they're Julian's parents. They were dead on the thing. And then the other one, spoiler alert, if I don't know, I can't believe you're still watching if you don't want spoilers, but it looked if you I saw a side by side on Instagram of Marion Chambers, who was obviously the nurse with Dr. Loomis, who was coming back for this one. It's her clothes, and I think she's got the witch mask pulled over her head. And it looks like she's one of the people on the playground. But the cool thing is props to Trick or Treat Studios for getting those things. Those are the masks from Halloween 3, which you've never seen Halloween 3, so I don't expect you to really get that. But of course, Halloween 3 is the one in the franchise that had absolutely nothing to do with the storyline. It was literally like its own. It was what John Carpenter wanted to do originally as an anthology, and those masks are the main deal with with H3. So it was kind of a cool nod just to have it in there because why not? And that's the kind of thing that hardcore Halloween fans are like. The Leo DiCaprio meme,
Mm-hmm. It's
like
like,
sitting on the couch.
yeah, I
I
got
see
you.
it. Yeah. So that was a really, really cool nod, and it was cool that they threw that in there. And then of course we cut to the mob mentality stuff, which this is where I get really, really excited because like you talked about before, and I kind of want you to elaborate on this because you said something last night that I have it written down because I thought it was profound when you said it. Um, so Allyson seems to be leading one of the groups. Like
Mm-hmm.
Cameron, Lonnie, and Allyson are in a truck, and Cameron's got a or Cameron. Lonnie has he's got a map, and he's like, if you follow the bodies, like Michael's going to his house, like he's going home. Which again, I'm not really sure why Michael's going home, unless it's just like an instinctive kind of like he's just gonna go back to where he lives or where he lived. Um, I'm kind of shocked that he would even be able to find his house after 40 years because I'm sure it's been renovated
I'm sure it had to be
and I'm
like destroyed.
sure other people live there
Mm-hmm.
because it was abandoned in the original. I mean, obviously, when he was a kid and he killed Judith, it wasn't, but I mean, later on in the film, it was abandoned. So I don't know if somebody bought it out. I kind of think that might be the house that they're in at the end when he's got Allyson on her knees and he's got the knife and she's like pushing up or whatever. Um, but Allyson seems to
Wait,
be leading one of these groups.
okay.
What were you going to say?
I was gonna say, like in the 2018 version, don't they go to that doesn't isn't he like at a house? That's where he got his mask, right? No, wait, I'm
No.
thinking of
Are you thinking of Rob?
H2.
Yeah, you're thinking of Rob
Yeah,
Zombies.
I'm thinking of that.
None of
My
that
bad.
garbage. That's not welcome
Yeah.
here. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, you're thinking of H2.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, see, in H18, he gets the mask from the podcasters because
Gotcha.
they
Yeah.
like brought it to try to get some
Mm.
response from him, and when he killed them, he got it back. Um, so then obviously we cut to Anthony Michael Hall. I'm stoked that he is in this movie. I've always been an Anthony Michael Hall fan, and obviously he's playing Lonnie or not Lonnie, Tommy. And Tommy says to Laurie, "What are we gonna do?" And she's like, "We're gonna fight." And here's what I wanted to talk about the mob because we've known for quite some time the running top of the running title of the movie was Mob Rules when it was being filmed in South Carolina, and obviously there is going to be a mob hunting Michael down while Laurie is in the hospital. So they also released an official plot synopsis last night, and I'm going to read you the synopsis. So I saw this on Bloody Disgusting. The actual synopsis reads, "And the Halloween night when Michael Myers returned isn't over yet. Minutes after Laurie Strode, her daughter Karen, and her granddaughter Allyson left masked monster Michael Myers caged and burning in Laurie's basement, Laurie is rushed to the hospital with life-threatening injuries, believing she finally killed her lifelong tormentor. But when Michael manages to free himself from Laurie's trap, his ritual bloodbath resumes." And here's where it gets interesting. As Laurie fights her pain and prepares to defend herself against him, she inspires all of Haddonfield to rise up against their unstoppable monster. The Strode women join a group of other survivors of Michael's first rampage who decide to take matters into their own hands, forming a vigilante mob that sets out to hunt Michael down once and for all. And then it ends with saying, "Evil dies tonight." Pretty dope.
Pretty spot on.
That's a dope synopsis. But the tidbit about saying as Laurie fights her pain and prepares to defend herself, she inspires all of Haddonfield to rise up against Michael. That's really, really important. I love that. I love the phrasing of that. Um, and I loved the shot of the mob outside of the hospital. They look pissed. They're rocking the ambulance, and again, they're shouting, "Evil dies tonight." So I'm hoping Laurie has kind of a powwow with these people, and kind of Laurie is like their leader, I guess you'd say,
They're
inspiration.
they're Mel Gibson.
I know
It's
Laurie's
like
gonna have
Braveheart.
like a Braveheart moment, or she's gonna have the "This is Sparta" moment from
They
300.
could take our land, but they could not take our freedom.
Right.
So like I don't know. That's gonna be pretty insane. I can't wait for that scene right there because that's where I kind of like started liking the movie a lot more because it's like because like I don't know. It's like I like the whole horror aspect of him taking down people one by one and people are not knowing what's going on. I like this whole mob mentality because it's like I mean
I
what
do
else
too.
can we do? Like I
It's
mean
different.
yeah, it's different.
Like
This
it
is a
feels
whole
like something
different
different that we
feel.
haven't seen before.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
It's very much how like Nightmare on Elm Street where like the group of mothers decide to
Yeah.
take on Freddy Krueger. It's kind of like that. It's literally the community coming together, be like, okay, look, we're tired of this. He's come back and he started killing again. We need to put him down.
Yeah.
And by far, the most that is the best decision I have heard in the entire Halloween franchise. Saying we got to kill him, guys.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
I think it would be so poetic to have obviously Michael is just slaughtering. I mean, he is just going through Haddonfield, I mean, completely wreaking havoc. And
mhm.
then to have this scene where Laurie kind of gets up in front of everybody and is like, "Look, evil dies tonight. Like this is going to be it. We are taking him down." I mean, like that would be such a cool contrast to that and a cool like antithesis for Michael's character. I
Yeah,
mean, because like obviously in the original, Loomis was it was kind of I mean, Laurie was obviously the final girl. She was the one he was after, even if it was for no reason at all. But Loomis was his Van Helsing.
hmm,
But at this point now, Laurie is kind of the Dr. Loomis of this story now. Like
yeah.
Laurie is the one who has like made it hurt. Like even if she dies trying, she is going to take him down. Like she is going to kill him. Um,
She turned into Michael Myers' Van Helsing.
she did. Like she is
Hmm.
his Van Helsing now. And I just I don't know. I think the concept of Haddonfield rising up and Tommy and Lindsay and Marion and Lonnie and all of these people that were kids. I mean, Tommy and Lindsay and Lonnie were kids that she was babysitting, not Lonnie, but they were kids when this happened originally, when she was a teenager. And now they're grown up and they're like, well, shit, it's happening again. Like, here we go. Like, I'm not like, my kids are not going to go through this. And
Hmm.
it's just, which obviously, I don't know, he'd be dead by that point. I'd hope he'd be dead. But then again, the dude's been
Yeah, I
shot
know.
up teen times. He's been stabbed. He's been burned. Can't kill him. So I don't know. I love the concept of that. And I wanted to bring this up too. There's a shot of him walking behind a couple of houses in the dark. It is one of my favorite shots of the entire trailer. It's got the blue lighting that we loved in the original that made the original so cool.
Hmm.
But he's the shape in that scene. Like you only see the silhouette of his body. And I honestly wonder if that's Nick Castle playing him in that scene because it's got that liquidy, emotionless walk to it. Do you know which scene I'm talking about?
Yeah, when he's walking by the shed or something like that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's walking behind houses. Like there's a playground and then there's a couple houses, and he's walking, but he's completely in shadow. Like you can see the shadow like moving, but that's it. And I adored that shot because it's kind of it's almost hard to equate the 60-year-old Michael to 21-year-old Michael because in the original he was a ninja. You know what I mean? He was in the shadows, he was stealthy. He didn't kill that many people. Like in the
Hmm.
original Halloween, he really only killed, I believe, 3 people. Four if you count the guy that he stole the car from that Loomis finds like on the side of the interstate. But it's almost like I don't know. Old man Michael is even stronger, and it makes Laurie's line, which is my other favorite line from the trailer, when she says, "The more he kills, the more he transcends." Is so much more meaningful because of that. Like the older he gets, the crazier he gets, the more he kills, the more brutal and the angrier he becomes. It's just it's almost like the older he gets and the more he kills, it's like the angrier and the more brutal he becomes. Like I just repeated myself, but it's crazy. Like it's just wild to think that it's almost like the 60-year-old version of him is 10 times more brutal than the 21-year-old version of him when he first escaped in the original movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of
Yeah,
wild.
I agree with that. I think I don't know. It's just the fact that like I like the line she says again, like how the more he kills, the more I guess the more powerful he becomes. It's kind of
I
like giving
know.
him like a supernatural kind of vibe. It's
Is he
like
supernatural
he,
or is he not?
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like he is flesh and bones, but the more he kills, the more I guess supernatural he becomes because it's like the more powerful he becomes. It's like he feeds off the murders that he commits.
Yes, it's like he feeds off of killing people, and
Hmm.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
But
obviously that's the case, but I think it was really powerful for her to like actually
yeah,
state it because we kind of knew to a
yeah,
certain degree. Like the more he kills, the more vicious and powerful he becomes. But
yes,
for her to say it herself and be like, if we don't stop him, he's going to become more powerful than we can imagine. I
yes,
think that was a really pivotal moment, and I think that's where the community realized it as well. Like this isn't just some serial killer out and about that's gonna kill and then disappear. No, he's going to continue doing this all night,
this is
and we have
something
to stop
else.
him.
Like this is
Yeah,
not. This is not. I say normal serial killer. Not that there's anything as a normal serial killer,
it's
but
like
this is not a normal crime.
mhm.
This is something more.
It's like a tiger got set loose. You know what I mean?
What? No,
It's like a
I
well, like okay,
don't.
well you know those like in
Like
like
a
most of the
blowout.
no like you've seen like the news reels about sometimes like a cat gets like a tiger gets out loose and he starts running a rampage and all that and it's freaking a lot of people out and it's scaring a lot of people knowing it's out there. It's kind of like that. It's like
Okay.
he's been set free, he's out there and he's killing people. Like you like obviously you know a tiger, like if a tiger sees you it's gonna kill you like straight up. So like it's the same principle. It's like if Michael Myers gets out, like he's going to kill the first thing he sees. What he sees,
Yes.
he's gonna kill. So like the community now knows that, and they're aware of the situation. So they're thinking, okay, well we got to put this guy down, or I guess capture him or something like that.
Or a
Some
lot
people
of
probably
people are gonna die.
yeah, or a lot of people are gonna die, and like we have to put a stop to it, or else it's gonna be a lot of casualties.
Yeah.
So I think it's like yeah, it's like they're showing Michael to be like some crazed animal that's just been set loose into this domestic environment and it has
Yes.
to be put down. That's the vibe I got.
Yeah, and you bring up the community thing, and here's the thing that I thought was so prolific of you to say, and I'm really glad you said this. And you said it after we hung up our well, after we stopped recording our trailer reaction. But part of what makes this so you had said part of what makes this so terrifying and unlike any other horror movie is that the entire town has banded together to fight Myers and to fight back, and they're still losing. Like all of these
Yeah,
people have come together to fight him, and he's still killing them. Like they still can't stop him.
yeah,
Firefighters, police officers, armed civilians, rednecks with guns, like whatever. They're still winning,
yeah.
or he's still winning.
it's like the whole thing, like I mentioned all the time that I hated in H2 or in the Rob Zombie ones was that there's so many people like that could just honestly just there's so many like law abiding citizens could like see this and just actually take matters in their hands.
Right,
Like we're seeing that actually happen come to fruition where it's like I'm seeing what I always wanted to see in the type of horror movies like
right.
everyone coming together to take them on. But I think now it makes it more scary the fact that the community is going to take him on and he's still winning. Like the community isn't it's still there's still a disadvantage. Like they're
I
still at a
know.
disadvantage
Yeah,
because as you can see throughout the movies, like he's still running about. There's gonna be a couple of run-ins with Michael Myers and a group of the
right.
community that goes after him, and obviously
Yeah.
he's gonna pick them off one by one.
Well, shit. The firefighters had stuff they could use as weapons, and he still killed every single last one of them.
exactly. And it's like,
And
and as
escaped
you
from a
just,
burning house.
yeah. So he's clearly like, he's clearly out of what's it, out of nature, or like out of this world, so to speak.
Yeah,
It's
yep.
like he's not. It's not even like a natural force that Michael Myers is presenting. It's something beyond that.
He's
You know
like
what
a
I mean?
force of nature. Like you can't that's what's so genius about that character is you can't explain it. It doesn't make any sense.
Hmm.
He is a 60-year-old man. And not to say that 60-year-old men can't be strong or can't do any of these things because there are some jacked 60-year-old men out there.
Look at Chuck Norris. Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. Look at a
Yeah.
lot of
So.
these action heroes. They're in their late 70s and they're still ripped. They could still kick any one of our asses.
Hmm.
But it's just it. He's so normal. He's seemingly so. He's not ripped. He's not a big bulky. He's not Jason. You know what I mean? He's just a. He looks normal. He's not. There's no making sense of any of what he does at all.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know. Thinking about the whole concept of the whole movie, there were people that thought David Gordon Green wasn't the guy for the job of bringing Halloween back to life and everything. But like this Halloween Kills storyline, and when what they're setting up, at least what this trailer set up, it looks so big. It looks like this could be like the most epic horror movie ever made. And usually horror is pretty intimate. It's one on one. It's between the killer and the victim. That's it. This is widespread. This is not intimate. It's like imminent danger for everybody because he could be anywhere. He could be in anybody's house. He could be on any street. He could be anywhere. He could be standing in the bushes watching you right now. And it's like this imminent danger of fear spreading amongst people.
Hmm.
Um, and neighbors and people rising up to like take on the demon from their past. Like I think David Gordon Green was a genius for coming up with this. I really,
Yeah.
really do.
You and
Halloween
I would.
18 was just the prequel to Halloween Kills. Like I really feel that. I feel like this is the major one. And of course we still have Halloween Ends. That's got to be just as major. But Halloween Kills feels like it is going to be sensational.
Yeah. One thing I want to see the growing fear of the community,
Yeah.
because obviously, like we said, like the community is not going to be able to take down Michael Myers. And like in the beginning of it, they think they have it under control. They think they can take him on, but then as like the community starts getting picked off one by one, I want that fear within the community to grow. Like, can we do this? Can we kill this guy? Like, I want the legend of Michael Myers to like brew like within this movie, within the time lapse of this movie. I want that the legend of
Yeah.
him just to brew more and more. So like
Well, especially
as
if I'm
I was gonna
sorry,
say
go
like
ahead.
I was gonna say like as more as he continues to like meet up with different parts of this group, I want the community to feel that fear, like his presence, like he's going to be everywhere, and we can't stop him.
Especially if people from the mob start finding other groups from the mob dead, it's gonna be like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah. I
really?
want to
Like,
see that. I want to see
really?
more and more fear come out of that.
I know. So obviously from there we get the Michael Myers is flesh and blood, but a man couldn't have survived that fire. The more he kills, the more he transcends.
Mhm.
Incredible line. And then we get Marion in the car, which is a callback to her scene at the beginning of the original Halloween when he takes his hand and he bashes the window and he pulls her hair and Loomis runs back over the car and whatever. Um, I imagine Marion's gonna die. I don't see her surviving this. I'm sorry. I like her character, but I just don't think she's gonna make it. Um, and then of course we see Michael slam Lindsay up against the car door. Uh, I don't know.
This is not looking good.
I don't know.
It's not looking good.
And of course it's kind of funny because what's her name? Who played Lindsay Wallace? John and Blank. What's her name? She's on Real Housewives, I believe.
Oh, I definitely wouldn't know.
Uh, What's her name? What's her name? What is her name? Kyle Richards. I don't know why I was drawing a blank on that. Kyle Richards actually played Lindsay in the original movie. Like, it's literally the same person playing
Hmm.
the kid in the original now. And it's funny because I remember reading James Jude Courtney broke her nose at one point filming this movie. So my guess is, I mean, Michael shoves her up against the car, like not even by her throat. It's like by her face, like her jaw. He like shoves up against the car. Um, so, like, she tells her daughter to run. Her daughter's running through the woods. We get a dope scene of Michael taking the halogen, and there's a firefighter on the ground, and he swings it down and hits the firefighter, like in the glass. Um, there are a couple of scenes of the mob actually breaking into the hospital, and I don't know why. Because
I think
if Laurie inspires them, and if Laurie has inspired them to go out and fight Michael, why are they breaking into the hospital?
I think it's I think the hospital scene where like they're all running and stuff. I think that's gonna happen before the community like collects. You know what I
You
mean?
think?
Yeah, because like I think he's gonna cause havoc at the hospital because that's where the community starts like coming together when they start doing the chant. I think that he's gonna cause havoc in that hospital, kind of call back to like the previous movies, and I think whenever he's done doing his rampage in the hospital and gets away, I guess
Yeah.
that's whenever Lori like gathers the group together and like, okay, this is it. Like we can't allow him to keep doing this. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Though, and there's in one of the original, in one of the longer teaser, in the next Halloween teaser that we got when they delayed the film. Or maybe that was no. This was Halloween of last year. We got the Let It Burn teaser when they delayed it in July of last year, and then we got the teaser on Halloween of 2020. When we got the 2020 teaser, the Halloween 2020 teaser, when he bends down to pick up the mask off the street, those fingers that she blew off are bandaged. It's like a bandage hanging. So my original thought, and this might be out there, and if y'all think it's crazy, tell me in the comments. I thought, obviously Hawkins hits him with the car in 2018, and it kind of knocks him out for a few minutes at least.
Mm-hmm.
Does something happen where he's knocked unconscious? Maybe he gets taken to the hospital and the people are trying to break in. If he's in the hospital and they're trying to save him or do whatever, even though that's a stupid ass idea. But I don't know. It would almost kind of cheapen it if he is kicking ass the entire time and then suddenly he gets knocked out. I would kind of be like, I don't know. So, did he bandage his fingers up? I mean, it didn't show that in the trailer, but it was kind of like, why though? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure why his fingers were like that. So I thought maybe that's a possible reason they were trying to break into the hospital. I don't know. I kind of don't like that idea. At first, I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense. And it would be kind of crazy for Laurie. Laurie just tried to kill him, and then Laurie's going to be sitting there watching them put him on an operating table trying to save him. And then you get maybe an H6 scene where he kills all the doctors or whatever. I don't know. But the other question about that is if they bring him to the hospital, and if the movie doesn't end at the hospital, because obviously the end of the trailer is Laurie walking away with the knife saying, I'm coming for you, Michael. So he's not there. And she is definitely at the hospital. Why on earth would he, knowing that she's at the hospital, why would he leave again? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It doesn't,
Yeah.
I'm not, I hope I explained that well enough, but it doesn't make sense. So I'm not completely sure what the deal is there about why the mob is trying to get in the hospital. But let's talk about the end of the trailer a little bit. It looked like Michael and Allyson and Cameron were inside of the Myers house. The stairs look right, and obviously it's been renovated, but the stairs look correct. Uh, the landing looks correct at the bottom. I don't know, maybe somebody bought it, they're renovating it, they're living there. I don't know. But of course, we get Cameron. He's got the gun pointed, and he kind of peeks up. There's blood dripping, and then Michael comes out and shoves him against the door. Allyson runs with the shotgun to try to shoot Michael, and
Again, that
she
shotgun's
like
got plenty of spread. That shotgun's got plenty of spread.
yeah,
You
but if
just
she would have shot
one
it,
aim.
she could have shot Cameron too, though.
Such a
It's her
sacrifice.
boyfriend, man. She's not gonna.
Such a sacrifice. Just saying.
You'd have just been like tragedy.
Tragedy. Yeah. Straight up. I'm not gonna lie. Look, guys. Like, if the community is so dead stricken on getting this guy killed, do what you got to do.
It's like Endgame, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Exactly.
So obviously, Allyson runs at him with the shotgun, and before she takes the shot, well, she does take a shot. I think she hits a pumpkin or something like that, and he like raises the shotgun and gets her on her knees, and he goes to stab her, and of course she's got the knife like this, and she's screaming, "Do it!" And I was like, "Why? Like, is she trying to distract him?" And the thing that got me. Did Karen really walk up behind that guy and take his mask off?
I don't know.
like did
I don't know.
I don't maybe she hits him with something because he kind of like flinches and then it cuts to black and that's when it shows Karen holding the mask and she's like, "You want your mask? Come get it!" And she's like standing out in the street or whatever. I don't know. Maybe she's trying to lure him out and there's mob members around her that are going to try to kill him. I don't know. My guess, again, I have not read any spoilers. My guess is that Karen is going to die in this movie. I think she is the most likely one to die. I don't think they're going to kill Laurie because Halloween Ends would be almost meaningless if they killed Laurie. And I don't think that they're going to kill Allyson because I think Karen will die in Halloween Kills. And I think the only good way to end Halloween Ends is if Laurie and Michael die killing each other. Like both of them die killing each other. Yeah. And Allyson is the last one alive. Like that's how I would like to see Halloween Ends end. And of course, a lot of that depends on how this movie plays out too. We don't really know what happens. But again, going back to that scene where he pulls the mask up off the street, where his fingers are bandaged, and we were just talking about that. If his mask is off, maybe that's where he kills her. And that scene from the teaser is him picking the mask up off the ground. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued why Allyson is telling Michael do it because she's like, he goes to stab her and she like grabs his hands or whatever. And before he does it, she says, "Do it." And he's almost like she's taunting him. Like she's taunting Michael to do it. And he's almost kind of like, "What?
You're taking the fun out of it."
I know, right? He's like, but this isn't how I planned on it going down.
Yeah.
Like this is what I thought.
It's real Ricky Bobby. Like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah. I don't know what to do with my hands. But yeah, I don't know why she's screaming. Do it.
That's gonna be another big moment.
A big emotional moment. Yeah. Honestly, her screaming, "Do it." She's probably pissed at this point. Maybe he just killed Cameron. She's probably like, "I don't even effing care. Do it. If you're gonna do it, do it.
Yeah.
Bring it. Like, come on, let's go." So she's probably pissed at that point because I imagine that that's closer to the end of the movie, if I had to guess. But I don't know. Yeah. I think maybe Karen comes up and saves Allyson, hits him, rips the mask off his head, and then goes back out of the house. But of course, then the final scene of the trailer is we get the slow-mo of Laurie. People are like running the opposite way, and Laurie is coming down the hallway holding the knife, limping, and she says, "I'm coming for you, Michael." And of course, then we get Halloween Kills. Bum 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 bum. And that's it. And there's the trailer.
Yeah. And a whole lot dissected just from this trailer.
I know, we just dissected a whole lot of shit, but it was a really good trailer. That's why people are killing me that they're like, "Trailer sucked." I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, that was a really good trailer. I feel like they could have revealed a lot more in this trailer than they did. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Knowing what we know about the plot, I feel like there could have been a lot that they gave away, and I really think they didn't. I think all of the kills, because it's so much more brutal, I think a lot of the kills are going to be... I think when we actually see this on the big screen, it's going to be like, oh, they didn't show crap. You know, they didn't show
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my final thoughts, I loved it. I'm really glad we weren't shown any of the flashback scenes because obviously I think the flashback is going to have a lot of impact on the plot and bringing Tommy and Lindsay and Marion and Lonnie and all of these different characters back because it's going to show kind of how they dealt with this after the original night. Keep that part under wraps. Keep it in the bag until we're sitting on a big screen with warm buttery popcorn and drinking a Coke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are your final thoughts on the trailer?
I think that with the movie getting close to being released, I think obviously we're gonna get more trailers.
Probably.
So I think we'll probably get to see more of what's to come. Obviously, they may spoil some big moments of the movie because it's just they have to just to like continue to appeal to the mainstream audience, so to speak. And I mean, just in general, this trailer alone really set the tone for what's to come in the movie. Kind of the same with Avengers Endgame. Like you could feel like in the first trailer, even though there was so little, you could feel like how high the stakes are in that
You
movie.
felt the weight, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
think.
stakes feel a lot higher for
Mhm,
Halloween Kills. Like it really does.
yeah, because it's like it's the community against Michael Myers. Like, what's gonna happen? Like, how many people are gonna die in this pursuit of taking Michael down once and for all?
All out war.
Yeah, all out war. Which makes me wonder, like, what the fuck's gonna happen in Halloween Ends? I'm like, again, I had no clue. Like, honestly, I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
this movie right here could have honestly been the
I'm
final climactic event.
I'm
But
gonna have to see. We'll have to see what exactly how Halloween Kills ends because I, I've I haven't really given it too much thought as to um, the events that are gonna happen in or Halloween Ends. I do think uh, people may not like this, but I really think that Michael and Laurie have to kill each other.
mhm.
And like not post credit scene you hear Michael breathing, like kill Michael in Halloween Ends. Like because this is obviously they're getting up there. They're not going to do any more sequels in this timeline directly to the original movie ever again. I don't believe.
Mhm.
Um, I think they'd be stupid if
I
a
know
studio
because
ever
they
tried to
really.
do that with the original film because it's the original. Like these are sequels to the original, bypassing Halloween 2, Halloween 3, 4, 5, and 6, H2O, Resurrection, Rob Zombies. I mean, none of those matter anymore. It's just this current timeline. So I feel like if they ever tried to go back, I mean, they'll remake it. We know in 10, 15, 20 years they will remake Halloween. Like
Yeah.
it's going to happen. But I think this is going to be the big wrap up. John Carpenter is getting older. Jamie Lee Curtis is getting older. Nick Castle is getting older. I mean, it's time. Like it's time for this story to end. And I think the only real way to end it is to really have Michael and Laurie kill each other. You know? Just
I
do
think
it.
I think I think Laurie ends up killing Michael Myers once and for all. And because she killed Michael Myers, she becomes a national figure and she ends up selling Greek yogurt on TV.
Activia.
Activia.
she
I
no
could
she no she's gonna become like Loomis in Rob Zombie's H2 where she's a pompous prick
Oh my
and she's
god.
selling books and she's like, if I want your opinion I'll slap it out of you.
That
She'll
Loomis
become
bitch.
all like pompous and whatever. But man, this movie feels like it's gonna be huge. I feel like Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Huge. Halloween
Huge.
Kills. It's gonna be the hugest. It's gonna be the biggest movie. Nothing. There has never been a more epic event than Halloween Kills.
Oh my god. You
But
really went for that.
I did. I went for it. But I mean, it's going to be the Dark Knight. It's going to be the Empire Strikes Back of the Halloween franchise. It's going to be the darkest entry, maybe the darkest entry we've ever seen.
Could
I
be. I
hope.
got I got a
I
feeling that could be the case. Yeah.
I sincerely hope that I like when this movie ends because I'm not going to lie. Halloween 2018, I went and saw it with my parents. And when it ended, when the credits cut, after it cuts to them driving away on the truck, I remember I was disappointed. I was like, is that it? Like, is that the end of this timeline? Like, did they just kill Michael off? And then I thought about it, and the more and more I rewatched it a couple more times, and I was like, this was a good movie. Like, this was like, I get it now, and it I liked it, but it wasn't the ending that I wanted. But of course, seeing this and seeing now we're getting two more movies, it's like, oh, okay, like I get it. That was the beginning. That was the bridge between 1978 and 2018. So I love it. It feels like it's going to be massive. But guys, that is going to do it for episode 27 of Let's Talk Movies. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. If you're watching on YouTube, please be sure to leave us a comment and let us know what you thought of the official Halloween Kills trailer. If you're listening on Spotify or any of the other podcast platforms, please tweet at us at We Talk the Movies and do the same. New episodes of Let's Talk Movies and Let's Talk Movie News premiere every Monday and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, except for this week, of course, because obviously it's the weekend right now. And then Let's Talk Movie News, again, this week's episode only will premiere this Monday at 8 p.m. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok as well at We Talk the Movies. We hope you all staying safe and having an awesome summer, and we will talk to you all soon. See ya.
See ya.